Today, my Overeaters Anonymous support group took a vote and voted to change the rules of the group so that I am not allowed to talk about Mounjaro. Let's talk about that today. If this is your first time here, my name's Chris. Welcome. And one of the things I share on this channel is my journey with Mounjaro. I've been battling overeating, being obese, for about 20 years now. The last several years I've been in and out of eating recovery groups, and it's been a similar effect as dieting for me. There's been some months I've put together what they call abstinence, followed a strict eating plan, lost some weight, but then put on most or all of it back. And just like all the diets I've tried in the past, it's not sustainable. And even though there are some valuable principles and good support there, when I look around at the people at the meetings, most of them are overweight. Most of them are struggling with their eating. The people who have sustained abstinence, people who are at a healthy weight, are the exception by far. So I see my primary doctor every 6 months. I had gained back some weight I'd lost. I was up about 20 pounds. So obviously that's a topic every 6 months, getting my weight in a healthy place. For a coworker of mine, I had found out recently had lost about 80 pounds on Mounjaro without big side effects. It was just, and he looked amazing. He's around my age. So I started thinking about that as I was approaching my appointment. Started kind of binge watching some YouTube videos on Mounjaro and just found amazing video after amazing video of people who had lost 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 120 pounds who were keeping it off as long as they stayed on the medication. So I decided recovery just is not working for me. It's got good things in it, but the bottom line is I need to lose weight, and I wasn't losing weight, and I was actually regaining weight I had lost. So talked to my doctor. She agreed to put me on Mounjaro. And so how did it go? The first 2 weeks were great. I was having less food noise, appetite suppression, not craving, getting full fast when I did eat, and the better quality food that I ate, the better I felt. So it was going great. The food noise, I didn't realize how much I was thinking about food until I got on Mounjaro, and that's cleared away. I was sharing all those things in my OA meetings. I actually have been going to a meeting that meets every morning at 6 a.m. And I was starting to get pushback from people sending me texts saying I shouldn't be sharing that, things being said during the meeting. And what they were saying is that it's a spiritual program. I shouldn't be sharing about medicine that I'm taking, even though it was addressing all the issues of compulsive overeating. You would think people, I'm in a room full of people who've been struggling for decades with their weight. I would think they would be interested in someone who was trying this. Oh my goodness, that was not the case. Not everybody, but it appears to be a majority, and especially a majority of the people who are there on a regular basis, kind of the old timers. Oh my goodness, not happy with me sharing about this. They said OA's a spiritual program. It's not about medicine. So you're talking too much about your weight. You're talking too much about weight loss. You're talking too much about, cravings. You should be talking about your higher power, 12 steps, all those things. What I found out today, though, is earlier this week, a group of them met before a meeting and voted to change the guidelines of our group to prohibit talking about Mounjaro or weight loss medications. So I have been silenced in the meeting unless I won't talk about Mounjaro, and I'm not going to do that because it seems dishonest to me. I'm having these great experiences, but it's not because of my meditation. It's because of my medication, not my meditation. And so to authentically share about my experience, I have to be able to share about this. Otherwise, I'm being fake. I'm acting like it's all a spiritual thing. So I'm not going to go back to the meeting. I debated if I want to try to kind of make a stand for this, but, obviously most of the group does not want me sharing about this. So I don't really want to be in a group where most of the people feel that way. I want to be in a group where people are happy for me when things are going well. So I don't see a point in trying to convince these people to be supportive. And so I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to have to find my support elsewhere. I think they're going to look back on this with regret because in 12 months, 18 months, it's going to be like Weight Watchers. Half of OA is going to be on weight loss medication. And so I've been silenced. I was getting pushback, but I was like, I'm still working the spiritual program. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I'm sharing my experience. I'm not telling anyone else what to do. I don't see how I'm harming anybody in the group by talking about Mounjaro. What harm is that doing? Majority of the group, they're super upset and they wanted to stop and they voted, changed the rules, and now I'm prohibited. So I won't be going back to the group, but here's what I want to conclude with. But I think it applies to all overeaters. The message you get in OA is that if you work the program, you will overcome compulsive overeating. But the evidence in the program does not support it. You go to an OA meeting, and it's a meeting full of obese people and maybe a couple thin people. I'm really standing up against this message that the reason you're obese is because you're not spiritual enough. And if you were just spiritual enough, if you were just working the steps, if you were just using the tools, if you were just following the program, you would overcome compulsive overeating. I think the science is already clear, and it's going to be just over the next several years going to become common knowledge that there is something physical going on. It affects your thinking, it affects your physical craving, it affects your hunger, it affects your satiation. And many of us reach a point where something happens. I wasn't heavy until my 40s, and then my weight has just gone up. I eat more than I ate when I was young, craving, food noise, it's all just worse and worse, or maybe I should do this, worse and worse. I have tried everything, all the diets, all the programs, going to meetings 7 days a week at 6 a.m. trying to address this. I'm here to tell you, you're not overweight because you're not spiritual enough. You're not overweight because you're not a good enough person. You're not overweight because you don't have willpower. I know what it feels like to be normal now that I've taken Mounjaro. My mind is clear. When I've had enough to eat, my body says stop, and I stop. I don't crave food all throughout the day. I may have a protein shake or something like that, and then I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm here to tell you it is like a mental, physical disease. And for many, many, many of us, taking Mounjaro addresses all those things. So I've lost 6 pounds in 2 weeks, but not that kind of willpower, don't eat it, you can't eat this, you got to eat this, you got to weigh this, no, just very naturally, very comfortably. There's been some adjustments because I'm someone who organizes life around food, and now I'm having to adjust. Sometimes I don't even want to eat lunch. Bottom line is all the shame, all the guilt, all the self-condemnation. It's incorrect. You have a disease. There's a medication for it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.